Today we're going to be talking about the mini Splatling. It is the lightest and most mobile of the Splatling class. Splatlings are a different type of weapon in Splatoon, where they have a unique charging mechanic which has two stages to it. The first stage increases the range and the time that the weapon will fire for, and the second stage just increases the time that the weapon would fire for. For the mini Splatling, the first stage of the charge will take a third of a second, where to be completely charged will take half a second. This is the fastest charge time of any Splatling. On a full charge, this weapon has an effective damage range of 2.7 meters, but it will do 32 damage, making it a 4-shot splatter. And it can do damage up to 3.1 meters, where it will be a 5-shot splatter. The weapon will fire 19 shots on a full charge. The weapon spread is okay, and spraying side to side will get you a lot of turf and points for your special at the start of the game. In matches, this weapon may be outclassed by weapons such as the splatter shot or the splatter shot row with similar range, so what is the appeal to this weapon? It does slightly outrange the splatter shot pro, so that is one benefit to the weapon, and it will be able to get its special much quicker and earlier in the game. Since the weapon is underrated, people will think it is a not very good weapon and will underestimate you when getting into a gunfight, so that would be your time to strike. Its fast charge time means that you'll be able to be constantly firing and support your team from mid-range. And the fact that it has decent mobility, you'll be able to engage and disengage with enemies when you need to. One thing to watch out for is when you're in the air from a jump or launching off the wall, the weapon will not charge. So try to avoid doing this as an offensive measure and only do it if it will help you survive. The sub-weapon is the burst bomb, which is a cheap bomb that will explode on impact. A direct hit with the burst bomb will do 60 damage, and the splash damage can do anywhere from 25 to 30 damage depending on how close it is. This sub is perfect for the mini Splatling because when an enemy has just gone out of range and you couldn't finish them with one charge, you can throw a burst bomb and splat them. And since it is so cheap, you should always have the ink to throw one or maybe even a second one. The explode on impact can be very useful for inking walls. Although the charge is fast, it can still take time and can often be faster to just use the burst bomb. The burst bomb can be useful to support your teammates. If they're in a fight and you are out of range, you can just throw the burst bomb to supply the extra damage that your teammate could need to stay alive. The special is the Ultra Stamp. You will be gaining this fast and using it often. The Ultra Stamp is a giant hammer where if you hold down the trigger you will start hitting the ground, moving forward and inking the ground in front of you. A direct hit with a hammer will be able to splatter someone, and the splash damage will be able to splatter someone in 2 to 3 hits. This does not match the support role well of the mini Splatling, so you'll have to go aggressive with it. While the stamp is down, you'll be protected from the front but not the back, so be aware of your surroundings. While hitting with the Ultra Stamp, it is hard to turn, and if your opponent is behind you, you should stop hitting the ground and go into squid form to turn around quickly to stay alive. You will get this special early in the game, and it can be used to create a path for your teammates into the enemy base and maybe splatter a few enemies along the way. This special is very useful in splat zones and can be used to clear the splat zones, and it is also very useful in Rainmaker or clam bits to make a path for your teammate with a Rainmaker or a giant clam. The Ultra Stamp can be aimed and thrown with R, which acts as a giant burst bomb. This can be used to splatter a faraway opponent that you will not be able to get to in time, and also can be used to stay back in your mid-range support role and not be in the enemy's base when the stamp runs out. The gear I would recommend is Ink Saver Sub so that you can use more burst bombs and will be able to use up to 3 on a full ink tank. I would also recommend Special Charge Up. Although you gain your special fast, gaining it even faster could not hurt. I would also recommend Swim Speed and Run Speed Up so you can get in and out of fights just that bit faster. These are the gear slots I would recommend and what worked for me. What worked for you may be slightly different, so test it, see what worked for you. And the best way to improve with this weapon is just by using it, so go on, use it. If you have enjoyed and this has been helpful, leave a like and consider subscribing and comment what weapon I should cover next. Until next time, see ya.